So we are discussing about the client administration. So work process administration is the basic one. But client administration, what is this client administration part? So what are the topics will comes under the client administration? In the client administration, client creations, client copies, client deletion, locking, unlocking, types of the client copies. So these things will be discussed here. So why it is client here? First of all, what is client? Client is a one of the business entity. Client is a one of the business entity. To run the business, you need a client. Sir, already system, we have the two clients are available. That is called the 000 and 001 clients. We got it. That's part of the installation. These are the master clients. But can't we do the business in these clients? No. We have to create the business separate business client. These are the master clients. It contains the master data. We cannot do anything in these two clients here, right? So that is the reason we need to have the so two more. So we have to create the so other than these two clients, one more client you have to create for the business purpose. Business purpose you need to create the one more client. You have to do that one, right? So then how to do that one? What are the prerequisites? We have to check that one as part of the client creation here. Client is a business entity. To run the business, you need a client here, right? So here, so what is the transaction code and what is the dependency for the client administration topic here? So to create the client, you have to use the SCC4 is the transaction code for creation of new client. Creation of new client in the system here. For creation of the new client, you need to use the SCC4 is the transaction code. We have to use it here. Using this transaction code, we can perform it here in the systems, right? But client creation, there is a dependency task that is called the logical systems. Logical systems, we have to create it here. Either sale or BD54, we have to create the logical systems here. So what is logical system then? So logical system means to identify the client. So what is logical system? So to identify the client here to identify the client within the landscape, within the landscape or within the system, you need a so logical system here. You need a logical system here, right? So normally in a system, in SAP system, we have the suppose example, if you take the development system, by default you will get the so 1000 client, then 001 client, you will get it out here. So then same system, different system, quality, you will get the different clients here. So here for the client, logical systems are very important here. Why means the logical system will differentiate the client here for storing the data. For storing the data, the logical systems will differentiate the client here. So to identify the client within the landscape, you need a logical systems here. The naming convention of the logical system is like a SID, CLNT, and the client number. Like that, we need to define. Suppose NW1, CLNT 000, NW1, CLNT 001, NW1, CLNT 100. Like this, the logical system entries will differentiate the so for the client here. So why? Because system is only one, but clients are different. But database is only one for every SAP system. For DB is only one, table is only one. But then the 000 client data, 001 client data, 100 client, 200 client data, all the clients data in a SAP system will storing into the one SAP system, one SAP database it is storing. That is the one table here. Then how the differentiation will happen? Why? Because there is a 100 client, there is a Ravi user. Here also there is a Ravi user. Then new client which you create, there also you have the Ravi user. There are three Ravi users in one table. How it is possible? How it is possible? There is a duplicate or the data already existing, you will get it out. So to avoid this kind of things, SAP introduced a concept is called the logical system concept. In this logical system concept, so all the data in a table will be stored based upon the logical systems. So why? Because table is only one. Table is only one here in the database level. But clients are different. SAP level, the clients are different here. SAP level, the clients are different here. So here, in case if you are trying to store the data in a table here, this is called the table here. Okay, this is called the table here. In this table, you have the employee name, yeah, so employee number, the number, employee name, and so logical system field. Every table there is a log6 field available. Log6 field is available here. So whenever it's the same table, suppose like same table, there is a Ravi user, the number. So suppose like 001, you are creating. So Ravi user, there is a 001 you are creating. So then it will create a logical system field is called the NW1 CLNT 001 client number, right? So then same Ravi user you are creating in the 000 client, in the 000 client here, 000 client, then the logical system field is like a CLNT 000. So here basic because of the logical system, similar usernames are storing into the one database table here. Otherwise, if the same file is storing into the same folder itself, it will get the duplicate file. The file already exists. So do you want to overwrite something like that? You will get the one prompt, right? So but here you won't get anything here. Why? Because it's already the data with the name of the logs field, the user, the name and employee name, client name, and this one is already storing here, right? The same name it is storing here. So there is no differentiation. There is no differentiation here. That will happen in the system. Say there is no differentiation here. So to identify the client, so here the logical system is identifying this is the which client data, this is the which client data. So based on that, even though if the same name from the one client to another client, the data will be stored into the one table level. Why? Because database level, database is only one, table is only one. It's not the for one client there is a one table, another client there is a one table like this. Table is only one, and multiple clients data will store into the only one client. One client will be sure it, but the differentiation will be done by the logical system field. The logical systems we have to create in the either sale or BD54 transaction codes. There we have to create the logical systems here. So if you go to the sale or BD54, before you create the client, then logical system you need to create it here. So in BD54, there are the multiple logical systems are there here. Multiple logical systems are there, right? So because there are the practice clients, there are the multiple people, they are doing the multiple logical systems here. Then here what I am going to do, I am going to create a one logical system 400 client. I am going to create it here 400 client, then 400 NW1 CLND 400 client. I am going to create it here. Then I am creating the one logical system. So same syntax we have to follow. Then click on the OK button. The logical system got created. You created the one logical system here. Now we can go to the SCC4 is the transaction code for the client creation. For the client creation, you can go to here. Then click on the new entry. Then what is the client number? Then client name. This is the SAP. So training, then city you can type it here, then logical system here. So here the logical system, whatever the logical system you created, same logical system you need to enter it here. 400 client means then 400 logical system you have to enter it here. Here there is a 500 client and you selected the 400 client means there is a mismatch, there is a inconsistency. So carefully you need to choose the these things carefully. You need to plan the these things here carefully. You need to plan the these things here. Okay, that is the so one thing here automatic. So here we need to carefully. You need to do the changes here. Logical system field. So this field while creating the client directly can go to the SCC4 transaction code. You can create the client, but while creating the client, it will ask the logical system. Then again, logical system means we cannot create the logical system here itself. You need to go to the sale or BD54 transaction codes. There we have to create the logical systems. There we have to create the logical systems there. Then go to the currency. So in this Indian client, right? Then Indian client it's INR. Or if you just browse it, then you will get the lot of things here. You can select it whatever this client in which location this client is of just Europe client or Israel. So wherever, so maybe wherever this client is exist, you can select the respective. So respective, so client you can select it here. Respective currency you can select it. Then what is the role of this client? Is it development client? Is it a production client or testing system? Whatever it may be, you can select the respective client role here. So based upon this role, your system will act as a test. Based upon this role, your system will act as a development system. Based upon this role, your system act as a training system. Based upon this role, your system act as a production system here. So this role is very important here. Based upon this role, we can say, okay, this is a test system. Based upon the client role, we can say this is the production system. This is the testing system. This is the training system. Based upon this role, then we will come to know the what is this system is used for. So development system or quality or production. Sir, we are doing the installation same for the development quality production. Then how we are identifying, how we are naming like a, this is a development system, quality system, production system means. So based upon the client role, system will act as a respective role here. Based upon the client role, system will act like this here, right? So in this case, we need to select the so production or customization or training like this. We have to select it here. Okay, so that is the one thing here. The next one are the client settings here. These are the client settings here. So this is the client specific settings. Means specific means only specific to this 400 client. You want to perform the changes without recording. Means without recording who done the changes. You want to perform the changes? No. Automatic recording the changes? Yes. Which means so automatically should record the changes who is doing what and everything. No changes are allowed. If you put these changes, then no one will do any changes in your system. No one will do any changes in your system here if you put the no changes allowed, right? If you put the changes without automatic recording means so changes without automatic recording but no transports also allowed. There is no transport means changes will not be recorded in the TR transport request here. So depends upon the your client role. You need to choose the respective options. You need to choose it here, right? So respective option you have to choose it here. If you choose the no changes are allowed, we cannot do any changes, direct changes in the so this NW1 400 client based upon the this client settings here. Okay, that is the main thing here. And one more thing is the cross client. Cross client means that is applicable for the all the clients here. Cross client client specific means only applicable to the this client. Cross client means it is applicable for the other clients also. Changes to the repository and customization. No changes are allowed. No changes to the repository objects and no changes to the. So this one you can choose it. Suppose if you want to perform the changes to the repository and cross-client customization, then you can do that one. You don't want to give the access to the no changes to the repository object, then you can choose the this one. So based upon these settings, user either development teams or we cannot perform changes in the system, especially in the whatever the client you have chosen. So these settings will restrict the changes in the system. Some people will go directly in the production, they will do some changes that time. So production settings we have to close it. Some changes they will do the direct changes, Development systems, that is fine. Except development system, remaining all the systems we need to close the client settings here. Why? Because only development we have to allow the direct changes. Remaining systems we have to carry forward the changes to the development to quality to production via transport request. We have to perform the changes here. So that's the reason we have to changes are allowed to automatic recording of changes. That's we have to do that one. And client copy production levels. This is also one important thing here. So if you want to copy the data from one client to another client at that time, if you put the restriction other than 0, then it will restrict it. The client copy will not be performed. If you put the 0, then client copy will be performed with no restriction. There are no restrictions here. Then this is the normal, just you don't touch this one. This is the client copy production levels. Restriction means we can do the client copy, means some other client data we can override on the 400 client here, right? That's perform. So these are the client settings. Just click on the save button, then your client got created. 400 client got created here. Where is the 400 client? So this is the 400 client got created in the system now, right? This way we have to create the client, right? So for the client creation, logical system is important. So in the advance, in the before itself, we have to create the logical systems. In the before itself, we have to create the logical systems in the system. So this logical system will tell you, so this logical system, we have to assign it, and based upon this client role, and we have to adjust the client settings and everything. So as per the recommendation, development, so that's the settings will be open. Settings will be open status, means anyone can perform the changes. Except development, remaining all the systems. So the client should be closed. Client should be closed status. Then only, so that only the perfect landscape means we are okay, because development, so quality and production systems. Development means you need to open the development here. Client settings should be open status here. Means open status means changes are recorded, So anyone can perform the changes here. So when it go to the quality system, then training, then changes should be closed status. Changes should be closed status here. When the settings are closed here, you cannot perform any changes in the system. Suppose example, I closed the site settings, right? Now, if I go to the BD54, it is allowing. So some other changes, if you go, system will not allow you to create the changes here. System will not allow you to do the changes in the directly in the system here. Why? Because your settings are closed. Your client settings are closed here in SCC. Your client settings are closed. So what is the client you created? 400. So here your client settings are closed here. Closed means no one do any changes in the system, any object level changes or anything people cannot perform in the systems. Anything people cannot perform in the systems. That's the thing of the, so this one, right? So that is the main intention of the no changes are allowed. No changes are allowed to the this one, right? That is the one thing here. Okay, so this is the client creation logical systems. So this will tell you the client role. So then how can I tell, sir, how can I know that this is the production system? Why? Because if the SID D, Q, R, P is there, then we can identify this is like a number. Then how can I know, sir, this is a production system or quality system? Means by logging to the client, by client role will tell you this is the which type of system is this. So then, so production means changes should be closed. So training closed, only development, it should be open status here. So now that's why in client you created, whenever you are log into the system, then 001 is coming. Then how can I log into the my newly created client? How can I log into the newly created client? Which user I have to use it here? Sir, DDIC created, right? In the time of installation, can I use the DDIC? No. Sir, a basis user is there, right? Shall I use the basis user? No. Why? Because these users, SAP star DDIC users are created at the time of installation, at the time of 000001 clients only, default clients only. The 400 is a custom client you manually created. Then By default, you will not able to log into the system. There is a user, you have to enable it. There is a user, you have to enable it. That user is called the SAP star. SAP star with pass. SAP star with pass. You need to enable you need to enable it. There is a one parameter you have to. There is a one parameter you have to change it. Then you can able to log into the SAP star with the pass. So SAP star with the pass, PASS pass, you can able to log into the newly created client. Sir, how I logged into the newly created client? Why? Because you said SAP star DDIC passwords, it won't work. Basis also don't work. Why? Because this is newly created client. Just now you created the client. Then how I logged in means, so there is a procedure to log into the newly created client. There is a procedure. There is a procedure to log into the newly created client here. The procedure like you need to enable emergency user. You need to enable the emergency user is called the SAP star with password. You have to enable it here. SAP star with pass, enable it here. How to can I enable means here there is a topic will come that is called the parameters topic will come. Parameters and profiles and parameters topic will come. So this will tell you how to change how to enable the emergency user. Okay. Before that, so is it clear? The client creation, logical system creation, client settings, and client roles. So any confusion, anyone? It's clear. Shall I go ahead, or will you guys practice client creations? Hello. Will you guys practice, or shall I explain the profiles and parameters topic? Maybe it's why? Because to log into the newly created client, we need to enable the emergency user. Then how to enable the emergency user means there is a subtopic we have to discuss that is called the profiles and parameters concept. So there you will get the how to enable the parameters, how to change the settings, default settings, all the things we have to discuss here. So this will take time. So if you are okay, then I can discuss. Otherwise, sir, I need to practice, then I can leave it.
Yeah, I will practice.
Okay. Is it okay for everybody?
Yes, sir, we will
So,
practice
yes,
today.
sir. Fine.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the client administration, client creations, client role, if anything. If you're okay, then we can practice it. So I will share the thing. I have to share the documentation. I think I will share the documentation then. Okay, then. So practice it. So don't worry. So maybe we'll cover this time in some other day. Main thing is you need to practice it. That's what we need to concentrate. But because client creation, logical systems, and these things are very important. So basic client settings, client roles that you need to understand concept. Why? Because tomorrow, your functional team will ask you, "I basis team, could you please close the client?" Then immediately you need to go to here, then you need to go to the change mode, then you need to close the client here. Whatever the client they asked you to close it, then no changes are allowed. Two places you need to change it. No changes are allowed, no changes are allowed. Click on the change button. Again they will ask you, hi basis team, we are performing some changes in the 044 client. Could you please enable the client settings to perform the changes? Why? Because they want to perform the changes. The client settings should be enabled status. You need to enable it. Click on the save button. The settings will be enabled status like this. So we have to perform these changes, right? So then you should understand this concept and everything. Okay. So please practice it. Then so tomorrow we'll discuss about the profiles and parameters, which means how to log into the newly created client. Then what we require to perform the newly created client, we have to enable the emergency user. Then how can I enable the emergency user? One parameter we have to change it. What is this parameter? Where to change this parameter? What are the transaction codes to change the parameters? What are the types of parameters? Then again, it will be confusing topic for you. So that's why just to practice it for today. Tomorrow, well, I will explain it more. Okay.
Ravi, only one question.
Yes.
So when we are creating, for example, 400 client, so for example, I want to copy 000 client data. Is it possible in
Yeah,
SCC4?
it's possible. That is the tomorrow's topic, client
Okay.
copies. Yeah,
Okay.
we have that is fine. So you copied the data, you are able to log in. Sir, as of now, I don't know. I done the changes, everything in the 000 client. I have the data here. If I want to perform again in the 400 client, how can I copy the data, sir? Why? Because 1 month I spent it to copy the create the data. Now I want to copy all the data to in this client. Is there any copy procedure? Is there? Yes, client copy. So you can copy the data from 100 to 100 client to another client. That is called the client copies. There are the three types of client copies: local client copy, remote client copy, client export import. Yes, that's possible.
So that's a different T code, right? Not in SCC4.
No, that is a different topic, different T codes. Yes, we will
Okay,
come. We
got
will
it.
get all the topics in the client
Sh-
administration. So total client creation, then logical systems, login to the newly created client, then profiles and parameters, then client copies, local client copy. So this topic means after the tomorrow topic profiles parameters completed, then this whatever the question you asked it, the answer you will get it out tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Okay, so thanks guys. So please practice it.